famous for defeating Bisu in a very hilarious game. But more recently, Bisu did defeat him in their rematch this season, on Sniper Ridge again in fact, where Bisu just kind of tore him apart. He like tried to go for a 14 CC, and Bisu's like, wait a minute, you're not Flash! And he just like made Dragoons and killed him, and it was quite funny. So that was yeah. I mean, I'd recommend the game just for the lulz, and if you're a Bisu fan and want to watch Hansen get owned. But otherwise, we're gonna watch him play TVT on Ohana. Snow will be the red Terran in the bottom right. T5. And that will make Hansen the blue Terran in the top left. So if Hansen wins this game, then Stars will take the StarCraft 2 best of 3, and we will go straight to an ace match in StarCraft 2. If Snow can take the game, then we will go to a third game of StarCraft 2 to decide who takes the best of 3, and then potentially an ace match as well, which would be quite exciting. I do like seeing full 7-game series, or at least ace matches, so it's very, very interesting to see which players the teams pick. But anyway, looks like interesting. So Hansen has decided to wall in here, whereas Snow has decided to, well, not wall in, and he's actually gone for gas first. Gas before barracks from Snow, so probably gonna go for Banshees, I would assume. Although I'm curious why he doesn't wall himself in so that it doesn't get scouted, because if Snow sees this like ultra fast gas, then he'll be pretty sure of what's coming. Although the thing is, due to the scout timings, by the time he gets there, the barracks may be finished already, so he won't actually know that the gas finished before the barracks. Actually, I don't know. If you click an enemy's, dude, you can just go. If you click an enemy's geyser thingy, you can't see how much gas is left in it, right? I don't think you can see. What is that kid drinking? Man, for a second I just like I looked at this kid and I'm like, is that a soju bottle? Oh, you can actually click your opponent's thing and see how much gas is left in it? Okay. Okay, I didn't know that. Oh. Alright, so I guess he will know the timing then. In that case, I feel like he should have walled in for sure, but oh well. So we're going to see a factory here. And a fast command center from Hansen. 1 racks expand, and then double gassing. What's up, white guy? That guy looked pretty cool. He's just so chill. He's like, yeah, I'm on camera. It's all good. So looks like, is that a? Yep, that is a tech lab on the barracks. Is he gonna switch that out with the factory? What is he actually getting here? No, he's getting a Hellion. Okay, we have a Hellion. Any starport? Any starport? Yep, he's gonna add the starport to the tech lab. Alright, so it is gonna be Banshees. I'm gonna make a Hellion first to just kind of poke around. Maybe clear the SCV at the watchtower. Maybe poke the front even, check out what's going on. Looks like he has his own SCV also. Going to see what Hansen is doing. He's not going to get in far enough to see that command center though, I don't think. So he's not going to be sure about exactly what's going on. I think that's quite smart of Hansen to actually build the command center in his base. Both to keep it hidden, but also because he wasn't exactly sure what God, why do I keep forgetting players? What Snow was doing. Sorry, it's just because, like, in my mind, Snow is like a Protoss, so I'm really confused when I say Snow and it's a Terran. So the thing is, since it was the I think he saw the fast gas. Like, it could have just been, I don't know, like a proxy Marauder build, right? So he wasn't actually 100% sure what it was. So just building the command center in his main just to be safe there. And once he realizes that he can actually move out, then he can lift that and float it over to his natural. In the meantime, probably will just be dropping mules and making double SCVs in his main. And it looks like we actually have an expansion follow-up from Snow here. So going for just the 1-port Banshee and no cloak, it looks like, not yet. Meanwhile, it looks like a comp already spent here, or sorry, a scan already spent by Hansen to check out what's going on here. So he's going to see the Banshees and also see the additional barracks being added. Now, I wonder if he knows also from the timing of those barracks that there is also a command center being planted at the natural. I feel like, you know, pro gamers with their awesome game sense will be able to tell that, well, you know, he added these barracks relatively late, so he's probably made a command center already. He's not doing some kind of crazy one base all in. And the response for Hansen is just going to be to make a Viking and to have his Marines kind of waiting on the edge of his base for that Banshee to fly in. Oh, he's going to get a couple of volleys off. Nice, taking the Banshee down to almost half health there. And oh, he's going to get some more volleys off. Man, gotta be so careful with the Banshee. Oh my god, he's got like 1 hit left. Whoa, 2 HP left on that Banshee, or is that 5? I can't even tell. Ah, dem pixels, man, dem pixels. So that Banshee did almost nothing. However, his expansion is up, and I feel like the expansion timing might be similar here. Yeah, as we can see, the orbital is morphing now, while Hansen's orbital floats over. So by the time that orbital lands there, I think Snow's orbital will be about done as well. But the thing is, since that orbital was finished so much faster for Hansen, he's probably got more SCBs than his opponent, since he's producing them off the double command centers there. Although I'm not 100% sure about that, I just assume so. Meanwhile, we do have, looks like, a couple of reactors being added to those barracks. So, whoa, gotta be careful of those Marines. But yeah, it looks like it is just gonna be a normal Marine tank follow-up for Snow. And we can see the Marine tank coming out from Hansen as well. It's a very standard play for both players. Now the thing is though that since Hansen went for the ground units and kind of held off the Banshee without taking too much damage, he's actually able to apply some pressure now to the front and might even get a contain off on Snow's natural there, I guess. Not quite sure what I was trying to say. Anyway, yeah, because we don't actually see any siege tanks out for Snow just yet. I mean, I assume he's gonna. Yeah, he does have the factory with the tech lab, but I haven't seen a tank out yet for him, and I assume siege mode is not really done either. So, so there was a danger of getting contained, but actually instead, Hansen's just gonna pull back to his own natural here, not gonna risk overcommitting his ground army there. He's just like, well, I held off this Banshee harass, so I'm probably in a really good position already. So might as well just play defensively, play safe. He's getting a 3rd command center as well, and adding on more barracks. And I think this is actually part of the reason why he pulled back so quickly, is that he is only just now adding on his 2nd and 3rd barracks, whereas Snow already has the 2 additional barracks with reactors. So, you know, Hansen was a little bit worried. He's like, well, you know, he's probably going to be out. He's going to be, well, he knew that Snow would be way out producing him in the Marine count, so just to be a little bit careful. And nice patrolling Viking is going to block this medevac here. I mean, I'm pretty sure that Viking was just to stop Banshees, but whoa, just losing it there for no good reason. Poor reaction time for Hansen there to not save that. I'm a little bit surprised that he just let that die. Meanwhile, similar anti-drop defense by Snow in his base. He's building a spotting depot there. Quite funny. It's almost like something a Protoss would do, just to stick a pylon down there to spot any drops going into his main. A nice move by him there. And he's also got his Marines there, obviously, to help defend. Meanwhile, it looks like the Marines moving back for Hansen as well. I'm not sure where they're going. Did he like see another drop or something? Either way, rocks can get broken down here, and that means Snow's thinking about taking his 3rd base pretty quickly. I don't see, is he making a command center? He's not making a command center just yet. They're probably gonna just go make it down there at the expansion, whereas Hansen's 3rd command center is already almost finished, I think. Yeah, it's just becoming an orbital now. So he's gonna have a couple extra mules, and he can float that over to his own 3rd when he feels that it's safe. I mean, he does have plenty of siege tanks out now already, so I think he can probably float down there pretty quickly. It looks like he's getting double upgrades on the engineering bays. I think there's only 1 engineering bay actually for Snow, so Hansen's going to have much better upgraded Marines than Snow. Hansen definitely playing a lot more for the late game than Snow, who, you know, did the early harassment and whatnot. And oh, look at that! It looks like +1 actually. Wait, how did that Marine win? Was the other Marine damaged already? Because the other Marine should have been 1-1. Or no, actually, I'm sorry. No. The 1-1 is actually a little bit later though, so that Marine was unupgraded. 1-1 is about halfway done, whereas +1 attack is already done for Snow's Marines, and his +1 armor is on the way. Looks like getting stim and combat shields as well as taking his 3rd. And Hansen can probably safely take his 3rd now as well. And looks like he's got a nice sensor tower positioning at the bottom of his main, so he's going to see any drops incoming from miles away. There's actually 1 Marine patrolling down there though. I feel like that's a very cool move. I think Snow because obviously you can see the sensor tower little ring thingy on your mini-map. So So he's got one Marine patrolling like in and out of the sensor tower radius to just kind of fake out Snow, just like, or fake out Hansen rather. Just be like, yeah, this is totally a dropship, but it's just a Marine, or sorry, medevac rather. And I think it's a nice little move by him. And that hold that thought. We have an attack coming in. No, there's way too many siege tanks there. Look at that. Hansen just has so many more siege tanks. And, well, we are going to have a Marine drop going around the back, though. But where's he actually going to go? He's going around the third, but there's a lot of Marines there. Like, if he gets spotted, those Marines could easily just stim up and kill everything. But, oh, looks like, actually, Hansen realizes he has a huge unit advantage. Just goes in. Oh, my God, just crushes the entire army. Wow. I mean, Snow, he did pull 8 Marines out from his army there to go for the drop. But even if those 8 Marines were there, I think he would have just got completely annihilated. Look at that. I don't think Hansen even lost a single siege tank there. He only lost Marines, and he killed Snow's entire ground force. Now, Snow has made some reinforcements. He's got a lot of medevacs at least, but not much else. And this medevac drop is still just chilling on the side. I'm not sure when he plans to use this, or if he's even just forgotten about it. But, well, looks like a couple more barracks being added. I believe that is 2-2 on the way for Hansen. And 2 engineering bays now up for Snow, but it looks like he's forgotten to start 2-2, which is a bit of a mistake. So Hansen's going to keep his Marines on better upgrades than his opponents here, and now he's moving in with a lot of siege tanks and an okay number of Marines to support. Not that many Marines, actually, relative to the siege tank count. He's got an insane number of siege tanks. But, you know, that is a very small army for Snow as well. He's going to see exactly what's going on here with Marines, and I don't know if Snow can even hold an attack here. If Hansen just moves into the third, I'm not really sure what Snow can do about it. Even if he's setting up a good position with the siege tanks, it'll be difficult, and it looks like, well, actually, Hansen's going to leave a few tanks behind and start sieging. Oh, he's going to siege up the main. Oh, that's going to be so annoying. He's going to drop the Marines in the main base as well. He left a few tanks there as well to prevent Marines from stimming around the back to counterattack and snipe off those tanks on the low ground. So that was a very smart move, and it looks like the Marines of Snow are stuck behind his own siege tanks there. Or no, okay, now he's held position them so they don't all run up and get obliterated by the siege tank fire. But these Marines going in here, going to start sniping some crucial things there. Sniping this sensor tower, going to start taking down add-ons, I hope. Should get those tech labs and maybe that reactor, the reactors on the barracks. No, looks like he's just going to engage these Marines instead. Not the most useful thing, but he does actually kill the starport, I believe. Yes, was that the starport that he just killed? I think that was the starport, the reactive starport there. So the reactor's alive, but the starport's dead. And oh, looks like it's going to pull back now. The attack has been warded away, but this is a very nice move, because look at this. Even though the attack was deflected, he did do a decent amount of damage, but more importantly, he saved all of his siege tanks. He did not lose, I don't think he lost a single tank. Actually, he might have lost 1 tank in that engagement, but he kept the bulk of his siege tanks alive. He only lost Marines, and obviously Marines, you know, they're very cheap to build. They build very, very quickly, so you can replenish those extremely quickly, but he's got a lot of tanks here undefended. He needs support for the tanks. He's going to lose a lot of these siege tanks. Where are the Marines? Alright, the Marines do join the force, and it looks like Snow didn't quite have enough Marines of his own to help bust this, but that was a very risky thing there to just leave his tanks exposed like that. Hansen's got to be a little bit more careful, but he has got his 4th command center floating out to the right side expansion. Going to take a 4th base here, and Snow, no sign of a 4th base yet for him. So as the game goes on, Hansen definitely just taking a nice advantage. I believe his Marines are better upgraded. He's got more siege tanks. He's going to be up a base. Basically everything going Hansen's way right now. So it feels like we're definitely going to go for an ace match, and that medevac with Marines. With 8 Marines in it, it's just still sitting there. I feel like Snow's actually forgotten about it. I'm surprised, but the thing is, even if he's forgotten about it, I'm surprised he hasn't just like looked at the minimap and been like, wait, why do I have vision there? And just like clicked it. And looks like, oh, a few exposed tanks are going to get taken down here. Well, you know, as I said, Hansen doesn't really seem to be being very careful with these tanks. I believe he still probably has the tank advantage, but you know, if he keeps giving them up like that, that's a a good way to let Snow back in the game. It looks like the Marines actually going to come in here, going to start targeting down this command center before coming to come a planetary. There's 4 mules there; they're all going to get taken down, and now the dropship has been found. Looks like the Marines do come back in time to save the planetary, barely coming back in time. However, he did get 4 mules for that, and a big stim from all the Marines there to just run back in time to save it. And now the Marine drop is going into the back of the 3rd, and the Marine army of Hansen is out of position. There are some reinforcing Marines to come help out, but they have no medevac support. It looks like they do have a lot of SCV support though. And meanwhile, a simultaneous attack at the front by Snow, but it looks like it just doesn't have enough forces to really do too much damage here. the marine counts of both players staying quite low, actually. Well, no, actually, Hansen did have quite a few marines just now, but okay, never mind. He has a lot of marines, but Snow's marine count is staying relatively low. Look at that. He's got a tiny little blob of marines there. Meanwhile, Hansen looks like adding on even more barracks now at his third, since he does have his fourth base up and running. Even though he lost all those mules, you know, still got a nice eco going. And this is, you know, I gotta say, this is actually a very cool looking game. It's actually looking, you know, a decent amount like a Brood War TVT, where it's very positional with these siege tanks. I mean, the Marines obviously provide a pretty mobile component, and it looks like having, yeah, just as I say that, Hansen's Marines, are they going to run into the third? No, it looks like they're going to move back a little bit. Cannot actually afford to go in here. Man, I really wish they would stop getting rid of the minimap. That is so annoying. And it looks like actually Snow cleans up the forces here, had a much better concave there. There were only a couple of siege tanks in the back for Hansen supporting, and now Snow is taking his own fourth base, and Hansen seems to be slowly but surely giving away his lead here. I mean, he had such a huge army advantage at one point, such a huge siege tank advantage, and yet he's just been bleeding tanks, bleeding marines, and now suddenly Snow's moving in with a lot of tanks of his own, and this counterattack could be quite effective. Looks like, where's he going to go? Is he going to go towards the fourth base? Look, he is going to the fourth base, using a scan there to check the positioning of Hansen's army. It looks like we might have the engagement here. No, looks like Snow does not want to engage just yet. Now he's going to siege up, pull himself into a better position. The Marines are going forward here. There's a lot of tanks and Marines for both sides. Both players lose a lot of Marines. Snow, now the one with a huge siege tank advantage. Looks like 7 tanks against 4. And now moving in to the fourth base there. And by the way, Hansen is getting the blue flame upgrade for his Hellions. So we might see some interesting like blue flames mixed in here, or possibly a mech switch. No, it can't be a mech switch because he's got way too many barracks now. But doing some blue flame Hellion harass could be an interesting decision to try and help pull this game back for him, because now he's definitely on the back foot, and it looks like he's going to try and swing around the back here, try and flank this army. But he's going to lose his planetary, I think. There's way too many tanks there for even SCVs to repair. There's a mass repair going on here, but you know, it's just losing mining time. You know, wasting the minerals, repairing that command center. I think he's probably using gas as well, right? Because the planetary costs gas. So when you repair it, I think it's draining his gas, although that's less important. Anyway, yes, we finally have the minimap back. Jesus, I always feel so blind when they do that little thing where they take away the minimap. The HUD, yes. I'm just like, I can't see anything on the minimap, and I'm like so confused. Because it's so weird, because like when I look at the map, I don't know, maybe I'm just like not familiar enough with the maps, but I just like, I can't tell where we're looking at on the screen if I can't see the minimap. I don't know. It's probably just me. Anyway, oh, we have another big engagement here, and a great arc though for Hansen. Oh man, no Marines supporting for Snow. Where were all his Marines there? I don't even know. By the way, people are saying that's not blue flame, that's +2 weapons. Whoopsie daisies. Wait, what is blue flame? Wait, hold on. To be fair, it's like a little fire thingy and it's blue, alright? And I don't play Terran. So ha! Anyway, Hansen now counterattacking, taking down Snow's fourth. So both players training their fourth bases here. They've got to be getting mined out shortly, right? Looks like the mains and naturals are pretty much dry. It's just down to the third base, but Snow actually has managed to sneak this right side base at the 3 o'clock. And has a planetary there, so that's going to be a little bit difficult for him to take down. So now Snow is the one with a nice eco advantage here. I mean, it's essentially 2 mining bases against 1, assuming that their naturals are both mined out. So Hansen, even though he did a nice attack there, taking down that left side orbital, needs to get his own expansion up. But it looks like he has floated a command center over to his to that like base below his main. I'm not really sure what to call that, like what clock position. And whoa, SCV orgy going on here. What is that? I think all the SCVs are like right-clicked on another SCV, so they're like following it instead of right-clicking to minerals. I think that's just a misclick on the SCVs right there. Bit of a mistake, and it's gonna be hard for him to fix it. Like you can't really tell from the minimap that they're all messed up. Anyway, looks like more skirmishing going back and forth here in the middle of the map. Looks like a Viking even out now, probably just to help spot and just poke those medevacs. And I think that's a good addition. Meanwhile, we actually have the double engineering base is still upgrading, even though the Marines are 3-3. He's getting like the planetary fortress range upgrade thing, And I don't know what the other thing is. Is that like building armor? Is that what that is? I think that's building armor. Now I'm like super paranoid because I miscalled that blue. Because I read that +2 as blue flame. Now I'm like, I don't know what any of these upgrades are. Actually, to be fair, even though I say it's like because I don't play Terran, I don't actually know what any of the Protoss upgrades look like either. So so I'm not actually much better in that regard. It's like even though I play Protoss, I'm actually as bad as at recognizing things. Alright, looks like that was actually building armor. Alright, yes! Calling an upgrade. I feel like I'm like first grade all over again, and I just successfully read my first, like, you know, 4-page picture book. And I'm just like, oh yeah, score! Anyway, looks like another big engagement. The Marines not able to get a good position. They're kind of stuck behind the siege tanks for Hansen, so just gotta be a little bit careful here. It's like just scanning to check the position. So Snow's retaken that left side base. Hansen's taken both his bases. So both players taking their halves of the map. It is just going to be a long split map TVT here. Just constant battles going on. This is actually a pretty epic TVT. And oh, looks like Snow's going to get the better of this engagement though. Might even catch some of these medevacs. Those expensive medevacs. They're trying to fly off into the sunset. And it looks like they will actually succeed here. This was a happy ending to the romance story, although it looks like some SCVs are going to die in the meantime though. The casualties of war. But looks like the rest of the Marines coming in here are going to clean that up. And having that as an orbital instead of a planetary makes it feel like it's going to just force him to just pay more attention to defending that properly with his ground army, rather than being able to just kind of leave it there as a planetary. It looks like the other side is a planetary though, so that's good. So you can focus, Hansen can focus his efforts on the right side, and whoa, looks like two armies passing each other in the night here. I don't know why he's got patrolling Marines there. He's just like looking for random depots, like spawning depots, or perhaps trying to intercept a medevac. But it looks like another great concave for Hansen here. Wow. Man, so many back and forth engagements here. Each time, whoever gets the better concave just like takes the battle convincingly. But now, a lot of Marines are stimming and moving up here. There's no medevac supporting, only two siege tanks. And Snow's 4th base coming under fire once again. The Marines the SCVs evacuating. The command center is most likely going to go down. Yeah, look at that. The Marines taking the command center so fast. Those 3-3 Marines doing insane amounts of damage while stimmed. But it looks like a counterattack on Hansen's 4th as well. And there's only 4 siege tanks there. I feel like the Marines can just stim and run in there and take down those siege tanks. Although it looks like he's not going to go for that. It doesn't seem that he's used a scan, so he's actually not aware exactly of how vulnerable that expansion is. But now the main army of Hansen is coming in here. Can he get a good angle on Snow's army? Well, he is maxed against about 170, 180 supply, it looks like. Snow, meanwhile, has remade that base, is going to float it over once again. Are we actually just going to see like a completely mined out Ohana here? Oh, looks like moving in. There's a medevac fully loaded. Those Marines, they got to go kill that base like in a limousine. There's going to be a counterattack here. Where's it going to go? Hansen looks a little bit undecided. He's trying to find a good place to attack, but there's like siege tanks to the left, Marines to the right. Well, actually, rather it's siege tanks to the right, Marines to the bottom. I don't know. Directions, man. Directions. It looks like they are going to run in here to the 3rd, but that's already mined out. He's going to kill an orbital, but looks like there was a 2nd orbital there. This is going to evacuate the area. And he actually hasn't killed an expansion, so Hansen lost his 3 o'clock base and didn't kill anything in return, which is not ideal, obviously, but he is going to catch some of these units out of position. He's going to get a huge surround off. Oh my god, a huge flank on Snow's army, demolishes everything. Wow, Hansen has definitely been getting much better engagements than Snow this entire game, even though he's lost that base. It doesn't matter, going to get all the medevacs even. Wow, horrible position for Snow right there. Oh man, he just got way too overeager with that army. He killed the 3 o'clock base. I think he should have just pulled back and regrouped, and instead he went for that left side expansion and got annihilated. But it looks like he did have a lot of reinforcements here at his natural. He's got plenty of siege tanks left. He's not going to die immediately. And, well, the game will go on, ladies and gentlemen. The game will go on. Even though Snow lost that army, his economy is still better. He still has that left side base, the 9 o'clock base, and Hansen lost his 3 o'clock base. And man, every time we buffer, I like freak out. I'm like, if we just buffer into GG after this epic game, I would be so sad. So sad. But meanwhile, retaking that base. Snow, I said he had the left side base, but he's not actually mining from it. Probably drop a couple of mules there, man. Mules are pretty good. And so we're gonna have another big engagement here. A lot of siege tanks for both players, and this time neither player getting a good arc. But Snow with a huge siege tank advantage. Looks like had fewer marines, but plenty of siege tanks to back up his attack. But it looks like he's going to pull back now. Without any marines supporting, he is a little bit nervous about Hansen's marines just stimming and running in and just killing everything. So he's going to pull back, and I think that's a good choice. Even though he probably had enough tanks there to just hold, I do like the fact that he just kind of ran away. Like a coward! So, still have a random orbital here in the main base. It's funny because even though this is going to like, you know, a super long game TVT, I mean this is like, oh, hold that thought, we have a big engagement again. It looks like Hansen, you know, story of this game, Hansen getting way better marine concaves. But we're entering like the 34th minute of the game right now, and neither player has actually been able to afford like, you know, like the mass orbitals for mule drops to sacrifice SCVs. Like there's just been so much action going on. And you know, both players is constantly losing expos, you know, losing big armies, being taxed on their resources, so they haven't been able to just like do that kind of thing. And, oh, look at this, a fancy marine drop on top of the siege tanks. Nice move here. And wow, actually gets a number of tanks there. Is he gonna get that last tank? Wow, seriously? Seriously? Medevac's OP, yo. Medevac's OP! Blizzard! We want LAN. And also Medevac's OP. And now both armies are actually quite reduced in supply. I'm trying to look at the supplies in the top right, it's kind of hard to see. Hansen's like at 180, and I think Snow actually is down to like 120 supply-ish. So Snow definitely on the back foot here. Looks like he's once again trying to retake his left side base, but Hansen definitely seems to have the upper hand now. Like his army's kind of on the other half of the map. He's on Snow's half of the map. He's got his half of the map covered. Snow does not have a big army now to do anything with, and I think Hansen might take it if my stream decides to stop being dumb. And is this going to be the final attack? Oh my god, the Marines are running in the tanks, we're not sieged! Oh man, this could be it for Snow, and GG from Snow! Hansen takes a ridiculously long TVT there, a 35-36 minute TVT. Epic back and forth struggles there. Snow is not too happy about that, but you know, he played a pretty good game there. And that means that Woongjan Stars will take the StarCraft 2 Best of 3 2-0, and we will go to an ace match in StarCraft 2. Who are we going to see? I mean, you know, the star players of these teams are, I guess, Sulky and Effort, but I don't want to see a ZVZ ace match. I hope Leta comes out, actually. Then we can see like a TVZ ace match. That could be quite exciting. But whatever it is, well, I guess we're going to find out in just a second here. They will show us the ace players before going to commercial, so that's going to be awesome. Yeah.